he finishes project number 5, he'll be half through with this particular book. Toastmasters, we have a book that we start with, which has 10 civic speeches. And each speech has a specific purpose. Will's purpose this evening is to talk about body language. And we all know that we have the correct body language. It increases our credibility and our message to everybody. And when I sort of talk about body language, we talk about 5 different things. We talk about the stance that he has up there. We talk about the movement he does. We talk about the gestures that he uses, his facial expressions, and his eye contact that he has with each of us. His personal goal for this evening, though, for this particular speech is he's going to be giving a history speech, and he wants to make the history speech interesting. So I really look forward to hearing Will's speech.
Tonight we dine in hell. Tonight we dine in hell. Will Lyon.
Spartans! Ready your breakfast and eat hearty, for tonight we dine in hell! How epic is the movie 300? You've got these Spartan phalanx soldiers with their huge shields and their javelins, and they've got these red flowing capes, and they do spin moves and they kill Persians. And you have the king of Persia, Xerxes, and his voice is ridiculously low, and he has these nose rings, and he has these weird kind of odd-looking girls that he has in his concubine. Is this history? Is this it's got to be fact, right? And we wouldn't have a movie like this outside. It's not real. What do you think of when I say Sparta or Spartan? Anybody, just throw something out.
Mini Cooper.
Any other stuff? Maybe you think of warrior, manly, masculine, a lot of those warrior-esque terms. Obviously, it's still pertinent today. The word Sparta, the city Sparta, has something in our collective memory. Whether it's in film, or if it's in our schools that have all these sports teams, we have all these like basketball teams named the Spartans. We even have words, laconic, Spartan. There's something pretty important about Sparta, and aren't you curious why? Today, I'm going to take you in a time machine. So grab your tunic, throw it on, let's hop back to the 10th century BC. We're in Greece, on the Peloponnesian Peninsula. Let's pretend this is Peloponnesian Peninsula. It kind of looks like a hand anyways. The Dorians, they're a tribe from Macedonia up north. They come all the way down to the bottom tip. That's where they settle, a place called Lacedaemonia. And this place was inhabited by other people, non-Dorians, before them. And they settled in this beautiful valley, the Eurotas Valley. And there was incredible mountains, Mount Tygia. There was a meandering river that ran through it. Fertile soil and big wide open plains. They lived in contentment for a while. Then 2 centuries later they decided, I think we need to start expanding. We need to maybe take out some of our neighbors. So first they went at the other Lacedaemonians, the natives. They took them out. And then they moved over to Messenia, and they took out the Messenians. And after they had conquered their neighbors, they began to think to themselves, well, they're kind of like outsiders and we're kind of like insiders. We maybe need a system to keep that status quo. So a man by the name of Lycurgus, a famous ancient Spartan, created the Lycurgan reforms. And this was a system of repression. The helots, the state-owned slaves, which outnumbered the Spartans 10-1, had to be continually repressed, and they needed a system to do that. Let's pretend you're a Spartan boy. You're lucky. You were born to one of the 9,000 citizen males of Sparta. Only 9,000 at their height, and they only went down from there. You're one of the boys. You're born. I'm your mom. Hey baby, how are you? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to wash your body in wine. Just put you in wine, the first thing I'm going to do. If you're strong enough to live through that, alright, you passed the first phase. I'm going to give you a dad. Here you go, Dad. And I'm your dad. Hey buddy, how you doing? I don't know if you're strong enough yet. I'm going to give you these old guys called the Gerousia. They're going to check you out and make sure you're up to par. So I go and I take him to these elders, and they check him out, and is he too puny, is he deformed? If he is, I'm going to throw you into a pit. The chasm of Tygia. Literally, that's what they did. Ancient form of eugenics. So let's say you live through that. You're 7 years old. All right. Whoosh. Bye, Mom. I'm going to the agoge. The agoge is it means rearing in Greek. And it's like a boot camp that you're in for a huge chunk of your life until you're 30. And here, you learn how to be a military man. You learn stealth. You learn how to deal with hunger. You learn how to be a Spartan. At the age of 12, a few years after, you choose a mentor. Now, this mentor isn't a regular mentor. It's a pedagogical relationship. Therefore, there's some sensuality to it. It doesn't always happen, but most likely you'll have some sensual relationships with this guy. But he'll teach you how to be a man. He'll teach you what it means to be part of the Spartan phalanx and eventually to serve in the army. Now, let's say you're doing really well. You're 17 years old. At this point, you might be recruited into the Crypteia. The Crypteia is a secret society, and their goal is to suppress the Helots. So what they do is at night, they'll go out into the towns and cities, and they'll occasionally kill Helots to keep them in line, to remind them that they're the slaves and we're the masters. Now, you're doing well, a decade or so passes, you're 30 years old. Finally, you can be a citizen. Welcome to the club. And you can get married. So there may be a girl that you've been sleeping with occasionally, and you choose her. So her bridesmaid, of course, prepares her for marriage by shaving her head. And then tying her to a bed. And you go and you kidnap her, and take her, and you have your consecrated love. Now, if you're a woman, it's actually not so bad. Other than that, being a woman in Sparta, I say it's true. Other than that, you have almost equal rights to men in terms of the judicial system. You can get a divorce, you can own land, you can wear clothing that's not hyper-restrictive like all the other, especially those Athenian women, they have to wear the really constrained stuff. And you're also known as the most beautiful women in all of Greece. So things aren't so shabby. And you're promoted to exercise. In the Olympics, they even say that Spartan women competed against other men in different cities. Pretty amazing. Well, this city, for all of its eradication of unfit children, women competing in athletics, which was pretty revolutionary at that time, a unending loyalty to their city, to their phalanx, to their military, still is in our memory. And although their minds were not educated, they didn't lose their laconic wit. And there's a famous line when the Athenians were planning to invade Lacedaemonia. They said, if we invade Lacedaemonia, Sparta will be razed. The Spartan king replied in a message, if. So maybe if you go to the plains where the Battle of Thermopylae took place, you might just hear King Leonidas say, "This is Sparta!"